All right. So I just wanted to say it's interesting. For the first time, I noticed like the top of her hat is a different color of black than this. I just feel like that's further emphasizing that crown chakra, right? Just found that interesting. All right, so we've talked about your past here. I don't think that we really need to go into that any further. Just that, right, there's been worry, there's been, yeah. A facing of your fears. And I do, with this new moon in Scorpio, we do have Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. You all have been doing a lot of shadow work. So this could very much be just about really facing those fears, right? And getting triggered and all of those things. So, and I do see triggering happening here, right? Because we have Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. That is a time that it will trigger those memories, and it will do so with things that are happening in our lives right now, right? So it very well could be that somebody does something. I don't think, and of course, tarot is very... it exaggerates in order to get the point across. So I don't think that necessarily anybody's going to be betraying you or, what have you. But, we even see this moon here and this like energy radiating from it, right? And this is a full blue moon in Taurus conjunct Uranus. So like even stuff from the past, right? Like the stuff coming out from the surface, truths coming out that have to do with our past. And, it can be hurtful, right? We might be really processing some stuff that we thought that we'd already processed, right? It's possible. At any rate, you're definitely going to be getting triggered and dealing with some of this shadow work. But here's the thing, right? I just want to point this out. Look at this week. Because I do see these as weeks here. This is the first week, this is the second week, and this is like kind of an overall energy for it all. And yeah, these will kind of play out. It kind of, all goes in, works together. Tarot is, it kind of amazes me still. But, this is what, this turns into this. We see here the heart is, empty, right? We've had something torn out. This is, that digestion, the processing of that pain. And maybe this is, being triggered because it needed to come up for healing. Because here we have the green, and this is all designed by spirit, right? This angel being here. We have angels here, right? These angel wings here. I definitely feel spirit wants its presence to be known here. But we see this heart and there's a symbol, and I think it's like this symbol that's on the back, right? This little swirly thing, which is that Fibonacci sequence. And, there's this healing going on, and that symbol is like to say, you're forever healing. There's no... And love goes on, and, this whole, everything that happens, it's all connected, right? So don't let some little hurt back here stop you from living your life to your fullest. If this didn't work out, right, that's where this gift of liberty comes in. With this, don't let your past hold you back. I'm going to get to it in just a second. But... this is the second week. that healing that's happening. And the dream, you know, the Dreamer 7 through the Dreamer Prince to the Dreamer King, right? And look at this power. And we see this, you know, on his sword held up right on his forehead. There's that third eye, right? With the moon behind him. So all of this, you know, there's this connection here. I feel like you're getting, you know, a hold of the mind, the thoughts, right? And what this all means, right? Getting a better grasp on the judgment part of it, right? This is gift of judgment. Because this can be about how we sabotage ourselves, even how we betray ourselves, right? If we're like stuck in a heartache, you know, so it's like different things take different times to process. Yes. But if we, you know, say, oh, well, this person was the one that was meant for me and it didn't work out, you know, we keep ourselves closed off, right? This opening, this heart being open right here is absolutely necessary. If we keep the heartache, if we hold on to it, it can't heal. But we are going to be healing. You know, and this, don't let your past hold you back. South Node. This is, you know, karma. This is, and not in the way of, oh, you know, you're hurting right now because you did something and now you're paying for it. But just, you know, that karma is also about, you know, the life lessons we have to learn. You know, but this is something that needs to be left behind, right? It's time to move on from it. And I see this guy, you know, holding on. It's like he's, you know, pushing the little fold down over your ear so you can't hear, right? Is what this reminds me of. It's like maybe you don't want to hear it. Maybe you don't want to admit it. But you do. And this is what gives you that liberty, right? Gift of liberty. Leaving this past behind so that you can move into the future. And we see all these rays of light and these birds flying out. And that's that connection, right? That crown chakra, once again. And, yeah. And that's truth, right? This Dreamer Prince is the king, the Knight of Swords, and he is my warrior for truth. And we have Warrior 6 down here below. But your subconscious, oh, look at this. I didn't even notice it before. I guess they all have it. This little purple line here around the border, and it just is really playing off of this Scorpio, this purple and the Scorpio, which is the magic, right? And there's magic that's being worked, you know, in this, you know, work through your fears, this nightmare, this looking at your fears, the shadow side, right? Your subconscious knows that this is how, you know, and this has no foe too great. And your fears are your foes, right? That you're coming out victorious. And I feel like each one of these like boulders that he's standing on is a fear that you've overcome, right? And whether that's just, you know, some of these heartaches, right? Opening yourself up to love again can be a fear. And he holds this sword of truth, right? That we see here again. And I can't help but, you know, this one holding the bow up makes me think of Sagittarius too. And we do have a new moon eclipse coming up in Sagittarius. So that might be, I mean, it's a little ways off, right? It's after the new moon in Scorpio, but it's interesting. We have the new moon in Scorpio, and then this could be alluding to this new moon in Sagittarius, the eclipse, right? And it's like, you know, you have some time, right? We don't have to feel like it, because I do feel, I get it sometimes, right? And I guess that's why I'm thinking about it. You know, this feeling like we're running out of time and we've got to get going, right? It's like, which is why I think this, you know, the Knight of Swords is typically quite fast, right? He wants to go after something, but this one is still, right? All of the energy is coming from here, which is good. And then this is what you're consciously working towards, and I think this is wonderful. And it's very emotional, right? We've got the full moon in Cancer, and the moon is at home in Cancer. It rules Cancer. So I think that that is something that's going in your favor. And, you know, it says escaping stagnation, right? Where you've been stuck here in the past, you know, and getting into those emotions is a big part of how you're going to do that, right? This temperance, this, because you've been all up in your head, you know? So finally opening up that heart is really going to, and dealing, right, with this stuff. You know, it kind of closes a chapter and moves you out of that stagnation, puts you on the right path, and you see her moving towards the sun. And once again, there's that energy radiating out. And I mean, we do see this mountain here, so I mean, it's not like we're going to climb that in one day, right? So be gentle with yourself, right? Take time to breathe out. Take time to, you know, in the holistic health. We do, that's a 7, and underneath that we have clarity. Underneath that we have I am presence. Underneath that, rebirth. And this is the third eye chakra, crown chakra, and then again with the earth star chakra. So you're reaching up into those upper chakras. Make sure you're grounding, and that there is this beautiful change that's going on here. This transformation, the temperance, I'm really getting like, you know, healing. I'm getting spirit. I'm getting, you know, once again, I'm seeing this guy, right? This sun energy, feeling victorious, balance, right? With the stones on either side and that sun coming up right in the middle. And this is change. It's about change. You know, I just see this swirliness, and, you know, Spirit's just letting you know everything that's happening in your life right now is for your betterment. And you are being protected. You are being supported. And then, you know, I see this Dreamer King here, and I see you finally being able to see things clearly, right? And the power that comes with that, this white dragon, the purity of your intentions, right? Integrity. And just really seeing your way forward. And knowing, and once again, I see spirit here, right? In this dragon. Spirit is supporting you. All you have to do is kind of ride the dragon. I was going to say ride the wave, but no, ride the dragon, right? That's even more empowering. Yeah, and tune in to that third eye, right? Do the breath work. I keep on mentioning that for you guys, and I did, you know, take time to breathe out once again, right? The breath work is going to be so helpful with you guys. Alternate nostril breathing. I did something right before this reading today, as a matter of fact. And that's going to help with, you know, this, because there is inner alchemy going on here. And it's going to help you with that part as well. And yeah, all of this is kind of like swirling up together, you know, and I just get this, you know, your soul is composed of the same dots as the universe, right? And I can't help it, you know, it says distinguish yourself from your mirror image. You know, that is about others, right? This is about the triggers, right? And seeing how we are all one, that kind of thing. But also, you know, I can't help it, it's been coming up, you know, the soulmate, you know, temperance can be about a soulmate as well. I mean, we are like working through all of these fears about our heart and healing it, and, you know, really like prying ourselves out of the past, right? Really finally freeing ourselves from all of that. And we do see the sky standing in the background here, right? And you get the idea that she's thinking about her past, right? And maybe some of the things that have gone wrong. And let me see if I want to make sure that I can get this in here. But right here, do you see the face? Right, like right here's the smile, and this is the little nose, and then the eyes. And that's spirit, right? Watching over all of it, and he's smiling. And it's like, she doesn't know what's coming, you know? And, you know, why all of these things in the past didn't work out. And, you know, yeah. There's love coming. And you will understand why all of those things didn't work out. And why you've had to work through every bit of it. All of these things that you thought you'd already worked through, and it's come up again. And it's to really truly free yourself from it. And truly like digest the pain. Eat the pain, open up this space for true healing. And you're doing it, right? And the Dancer 8 is always about really diving deep for me, right? In order to finally, you know, escape, you know, what's been holding you back. You have to like face it first. All right. So let's get a piece of art, then we'll get closing guidance, and then we'll take a quick look at the underlying energies, see what story it has to tell. All right. For Libra, I'm wanting to go over in here to the right. Okay. So this is, you know, those steps, right? And it's like each time there's this massive growth. And I can't think of the word that I'm, exponential, maybe even. Let's see here. The sides of each square and the distance between them are half the size of the preceding square. And it says arithmetic composition. And, you know, math is the language of the universe. I love to say it. But yeah, I'm just seeing these steps like exponential growth, and the black and the white, right? That's that justice, that balance between the light and the dark. And look, the dark is the step each time, right? Because the light's already there. We've just been avoiding the dark. So each time that we step further into the dark, the more light that expands. Nice. I love it. Okay. And then over here, I always feel like there's a little message here. And I just kind of, you know, I thought this, how weird. I thought he had like a musical instrument, and it's a gun. So that illusion once again. And I'm seeing like a face back here, right? Like these are two eyes, and this is like some kind of nose, mouth kind of, or nose, and this is the mouth. Yeah, there's this like strangeness about it. And this is just about the illusion of what's going on right now, right? This kid is like looking up at him like, who do you think you are? Right? Like whatever people that think, you know, it's like everything's going to be switching, right? It's like instead of guns, we're going to be, you know, prizing the music, the musicality more. Those that feel they're in power right now are going to be losing it. Yeah. I'm not going to get, I can see a whole lot more in there. And if you would like to look at it a little bit more, you can. It's an interesting painting. A lot of layers there. Layers. And that's, you know, a lot of layers are in what's going on here too.